Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. Even if I'm coming from the University of Michigan, it was 22 years ago, so please don't hold that against me. And I have enjoyed every year of my stay here in Ohio. I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, actually, which always thought it was an innovative place because I guess about 250 years ago, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin there. And so I have to admit that I, as a newcomer to Ohio, was very much surprised and impressed with the rich history of innovation that has actually gone on here for probably a century and a half almost at this point in the state of Ohio. As Chancellor Fingerhut indicated, Wright State University, obviously the very name of the place is a tribute to the spirit of innovation. I was thinking the other day that every time an individual has a transaction, even still today on the cash register, in fact that's something that you would associate with the Dayton area. And I wanted to talk a little bit today, partly because we are, I can't tell you how pleased as a company to have lent our name to the professorship that Dr. Scheck holds, but in addition tell you a little bit about LexisNexis as one of the, I think, really very strong success stories that have come out of the Southwest Ohio region. Those of you who are lawyers in the audience will certainly be able to attest to that. LexisNexis actually traces its origins in the late 1960s to what was then an exceptionally innovative climate of collaboration between industry, government, and the legal profession in central and southwest Ohio. I'm not sure if everybody realizes that. Developments at the Meade Corporation, at the Air Force Base, Wright-Patterson, and at the Ohio Bar all converged to help launch the project that eventually evolved into LexisNexis. And as befits the pioneering spirit of Southwest Ohio, LexisNexis has proven to be a leader on many fronts that are today actually fairly central in our economy. It involved the creation of a pioneering search engine, and that was back when 1 gigabyte of memory was an extremely big deal. In fact, 1 megabyte of memory, I'm told, was a reasonably big deal at that time. And this visionary engine helped to create and commercialize many of the standard search features that are taken for granted today. Even 10 or 15 years ago, I mean, most people had never done a search on anything. Yet for Lexis, they've been doing that for, 20 years. Lexis was also a pioneer in the deployment of online delivery systems to tens of thousands of customers, long before a commercially available internet existed. I remember when I joined the company in 1994 and had no technical background, I assure you. In fact, helping to compare, or rather repair, computers and connections for people long before these kinds of things were common in everybody's house. Also, for those of you who, once again, may be lawyers, LexisNexis was a pioneer in the development of those kind of futuristic-looking little red terminals that you occasionally saw in law firms or on the desktops of judges. Those of you who saw the O.J. Simpson case would have seen frequent actual use of a Lexis terminal there. In fact, that was years before the personal computer appeared really on the desktops of people everywhere. In fact, you can find our terminals today in both the Smithsonian and in the Cooper Museum of Design in New York. And if you're very lucky, you can probably buy one on eBay. Lexis was for many years regarded as the world's largest single repository of data. And it took years, actually, for the internet to surpass us. I don't think the internet surpassed us until about the year 2001. We still house, I believe, between 4 and 5 billion documents. It is still, today, a multi-billion-dollar corporation employing thousands of people in the Dayton area. And achieving and maintaining this level of excellence, of course, can't be done in a vacuum. If it takes a village to raise a child, it similarly takes a strong community to foster a great corporation. And over the past 40 years, Wright State has evolved as a very valued partner with LexisNexis in a variety of different ways. For example, at Lexis, Wright State graduates hold many leadership positions, both in our technical and business areas. And these graduates have in turn created many of the jobs that have been responsible for employing, like I say, thousands of people in the community. And in addition, perhaps almost as importantly, attracting new residents to the community on a regular basis. Many of our employees come from a variety of different parts of the country. and including, of course, Southwest Ohio. Among our leading search engine experts, for example, is John Holt, who I believe is here in the audience today. He's a graduate of Wright State, holds a doctorate from here. And even within my own research area, I'm privileged to work with two graduates of the computing programs here, who are among my most technically astute colleagues in the area of primary research. I should also speak a little bit about the fact that our whole company in the area in which I work is also very fortunate to actually have access to some of Wright State's brightest students as interns. And that has been a function of the Third Frontier program in many respects. And in fact, I know that we are interviewing a number of candidates this year from the Kno.e.sis Center. We have done so in the past, and I know that I can, I say, speak from personal experience and from the company's experience in saying that we certainly have benefited tremendously from those kinds of programs over the past few years. And sort of with this background in context, it's therefore no surprise that LexisNexis was, I should also add, that we were also very pleased to be part in the creation of the Data Ohio Center, which is now currently located on the Wright State campus. Worked with many people in helping to create that. Alan McLaughlin, who is here in the audience today, was very instrumental in helping in the creation of the center as well. With this background as kind of context, let me just say that it's no surprise that we were delighted to join forces with the Ohio Third Frontier in endowing the LexisNexis eminent scholar position in knowledge-based computing. And needless to say, we were equally delighted to that the appointment was awarded to an incumbent as distinguished as Professor Sheff. As part of transforming Ohio's economic landscape by commercializing new technologies, the Third Frontier is elevating select areas to world-class status by attracting research giants such as Dr. Sheff. I know that Dr. Sheff, in fact, is one of the most cited people in his field in the area of computer science. Needless to, I wish I was that cited when I was an anthropologist. Needless to say, we were equally delighted that the appointment, like I said, was awarded to Dr. Sheff. Dr. Sheff, since his arrival, has founded 2 companies, and his research has already led to several commercial products. So he's already had himself an impact on the well-being of the Dayton area. As a company that strives for excellence in a field that demands it, and I would say just ask any lawyer who has ever shepherdized a case whether or not they expect us to basically be accurate. I can see that Chancellor Figueroa is looking on with nodding, I'm sure, thinking about all the wonderful experiences he's had hopefully. LexisNexis appreciates the opportunity to work with others who seek similar levels of excellence in their performance. Just as the airplane ushered in a new century of interconnectivity 100 years ago, so too we believe that the online world offers the promise of an equally extraordinary global impact in the